What's up, everybody? Another quick beams swap video. One thing that comes up a lot is drive shafts. So when you do a beam swap, you get the J160 6-speed transmission, which is super awesome having 6 speeds. The gears are really short, so it's like you get a quick ratio box. But how do you get the transmission to line up with the rear axle? So let's talk about that. There are two options. You can do a 1-piece drive shaft or a 2-piece drive shaft. We'll start with the 2-piece because that is the easier setup. So for a 2-piece drive shaft, you use the A86 rear section, because the A86 drive shaft is actually 2 sections, a front and a rear, right? Okay, so use the A86 rear section for, say you got a GTS rear end, so use the GTS rear section, and then use the front section from a W58 transmission car, so something like a Celica that came with the W series transmission. You can use the front half of that, and they bolt together. And then you just use the A86 center support bearing, and you're good to go. Bolts all up, it's great. So that's right, the W58 Slip Yoke is what fits in the J160. Now let's go underneath my car so I can show you what I have. I wanna make sure I've got a light first though. Okay, here we go. It's a really tight fit in here because I don't have a lift, but here you can see slip yoke, and the center support would normally be right here, and it's not, and it goes all the way back. It's just one piece. So I have a Volvo rear axle, so that's a little different, but I use a 1-piece drive shaft. This one is from, let's see if I can show you. I used to live in Michigan, so I got a drive shaft made from Shaft Masters. They do a bunch of stuff with like Supras and other cars, so they know what they're doing. So I've got a 1-piece drive shaft from Shaft Masters. It cost me $300, $400, something like that. Now, 1-piece drive shafts are great because they're going to be a little bit lighter. However, the downside with 1-piece drive shafts is you have to know how to set up your pinion angle. So here we've got the rear axle, right? Here's your pinion, and you need to make sure to set the angle at the right degree, associated with not only the pinion but the drive shaft and the transmission output. So you have to make sure that all your angles are within spec. And to do that, you have to have, well, they're really dirty, but adjustable forelinks. I use Megan ones right now. They work all right. But you'll also see I have non-typical forelink mounts. These are from Excessive Manufacturing, so I've got a couple different height options for them, for the upper and the lower. It helps with anti-squat. So I have mine set up with the correct pinion angle. The reason why pinion angle is so specific with 1-piece drive shafts is that you don't have the center support bearing that can take up some of the angle differences. And so 1-piece drive shafts are way more prone to vibration.
Another thing is the drive shaft critical speed. So this is based on the length, the diameter, and the wall thickness of the material. The critical speed is essentially the point at which the drive shaft starts to flex or vibrate itself. And this is, all those calculations are done based on all these, specifications of the material, as well as the speed that your drive shaft is expected to see while operating. So make sure that whoever's making your drive shaft, if you're going to do a 1-piece, is aware of your gearing and other things you're able to calculate to make sure that the drive shaft is made to the correct specifications for your use. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what kind of angles you set up, it's going to vibrate and it's going to cause issues.
And if you don't have it set up correctly for vibration, I've seen a couple of cars that actually had the tail shaft housing of the transmission like explode. I've also seen one where the drive shaft ended up twisting and it ripped out the fuel lines and the brake lines, which is a really big deal because it's a really, really tight fit in here between the drive shaft and my fuel lines, and I really don't want to rip those out. So, 1-piece versus 2-piece drive shaft, that's all you need to know. If you got any questions, make sure to put it in the comments, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks, guys.